as you already know, I'm a podiatrist, and what I want to talk about today is mainly the match process. Hello, it's Dr. Show, the Flyfoot Doctor. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe at the bottom. Hit the bell notification so if I post any kind of videos or anything, you would be notified and you'd get to watch it. So, as you already know, I'm a podiatrist, and what I want to talk about today is mainly the match process. We had match, both for medical students as well as podiatry students. Now, I do have friends in both fields. I know it's been a while since I've been in that position. Maybe, 7+ years? Oh no. It's over 8 years now. Oh my goodness, I'm old. But anyways, I still do have some friends and some colleagues and some mentees that are in their 4th year of medical school and their 4th year of podiatry school and just got matched. And for all of you guys who got matched, congratulations. I am so proud of you. I am happy for you. You are beginning a phenomenal journey, and it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears, but you knew about this. You chose this lifestyle that chose you know? All right, so I'm filming here in my car today because this thing, the idea just popped in my head, and I wanted to drop it like it's hot. All right, and so I said, you know what, before I head back to the office, let me just film this right now and we can edit it and I'll put it out there because I want this video to encourage someone. I want this video to be uplifting to someone out there and to let them know that it is not the end of the world. So, as the title of the video suggests, you didn't match. You don't have a residency program now. Uh-oh. Now what? What happens? Is it the end of the world? Honey, I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. Things happen for a reason, so do not get dismayed. Don't worry, everything will be okay. The first advice that I'm going to give you is take a deep breath. I'm sure you've already done that by now, but if you haven't, just take a deep breath. Just calm down. Now let's re-strategize, okay? We're not going to let this, weigh us down. If at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. This is not the time for you to be shy. You need to reach out to everyone you know. Students, residents, fellows, attendings, other clinicians, any doctor that you know, reach out. You should have had an email draft that has already been set up just in case. I know we have to be confident and plan and not expect that something like this is going to happen where you don't match, but you have to be prepared. Failure to plan is planning to fail. Sometimes. Actually, most times. But in this situation, if you don't have an email draft, create one now. Create an email draft and send it everywhere. Grab as many emails as you can. This is the time to just cast your net as wide and as far as possible. There's no wrongdoing in this. Send emails. If you have telephone numbers, call everyone. Send text messages. Create a draft and edit it per the doctor that you're going to send it to, or per the resident, or per student. This is not the time to be timid or worried about what people are going to think, because at the end of the day, this is your life, right? You didn't match, and so you have to do everything in your power to get what you want. And guess what? In a few years, people are not even going to remember. Quick story. I have a good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, and she didn't match. Now she's practicing in a multi-specialty clinic. It wasn't until I was trying to make this video and I just kind of, threw out questions. They're like, hey, what do you do when you don't match? What are people doing these days? And then she goes, oh, well, what I did. And I was like, wait, well, you not remember? Oh, she didn't match initially as well. So she gave me some good insights. But my point is, people are not going to remember this in a few years. So don't be shy. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel intimidated. I know that you're probably going through a struggle right now and it's not pretty and you feel crappy about yourself. Take that time you need, 5 minutes. Okay, maybe 10. Take that time you need, but we need you to bounce back, okay? Now, you didn't match. I think one of the first things you need to do after you've reached out to everyone, and I mean everyone, is to try to figure out why didn't you match. Was it your interviewing skills? Is it the fact that you didn't rank, enough programs? Is that what happened? During your interview, when you went to, did you go visit them? When you visited them, were you social enough? Did it seem, most of the programs you picked, did it seem like an environment where your personality will match with their personality? Was there a mismatch there? Did you want, for podiatry students especially, did you want a heavy surgical program, but then you kind of went to, I don't know, some VA program that didn't really do as much surgery, and you kind of were uppity and kind of turned your nose up at them, and they saw that? How was your academic participation? Did you read research journals? Were you very active in participating when they had academic meetings? These are the things that you need to think about when you were applying for residency programs. Did you widen your geography? Now, personal story again. I was married, I was engaged by my 4th year, and so I knew that I wanted to be in a specific geographic location. So I applied to every residency program in Texas. Now, I had great opportunities in the Northeast. Matter of fact, Inova was hot cake. And I'm not sure if it's still hot cake, but it was hot cake then. And I had a great opportunity. I probably shouldn't be saying. Point is, I could have gotten it, right? But I had to figure out how to rank it because my family was important to me, and I wanted to be with my husband, or husband-to-be at the time, and my family. I had family members here in Texas as well. And so I wanted to come back. And so I kind of ranked based on that. Now, that may have worked for me. That may not work for other people. Some people, they don't care where they go. So how did you rank? Could that have affected how or why you didn't get a match, right? Now, once you figure out why you didn't match, right? Or maybe you never figure it out. And some people, they may not come out and tell you, they have to be PC or whatever. Be that as it may. Now, like I said, you need to keep in contact with everyone the attendings, the residents, your fellow students, your not co-residents, but your students who you externed with. Or if you did clinical rotations with fellow students, you need to keep in contact with them. Again, please, I cannot stress this enough. I know you're embarrassed, but do not be shy. You have to be aggressive. You have to sell yourself. So, because if you can't sell yourself and be confident and say, look, it must have been a snafu, must have been a fluke, then how are they going to know to trust you? Kind of, because this is a second chance, right? So how are they going to know to trust you? Sorry, I'm looking down because I kind of had some notes here so I can hit most of the topics. Another thing, did you pass your board exams? Sometimes that may be the reason why you didn't match. And if that's the case, then no biggie. It happens to the best of us. These exams are not, they don't really, yes, if you're smart and intelligent, yes, they work for you. But just because, if you don't pass doesn't mean you're stupid or you're dumb. It could have just been, a bad day. So, be it boards part 3, USMLE step 3, go ahead and study for it. Flashcards. I'm going to make another video on, how to study and how to retain information for examination much later. But go and study and take your exam again and pass it. Because if that was the main thing and the main reason why you didn't get picked for a match or in a residency program, well, that's kind of a sort of easy fix. So just fix that, and then we can get the ball rolling again. Another thing, in this time that you have while you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, network. So you've reached out, you still didn't get a program, and now maybe you're sitting a year out, right? Network. Find physicians, go to their offices, shadow them if you have to, volunteer. And a strategy that I would advise is If a physician is a board director, a residency director, or he is on the board of the residency program or has much pull. So your homework now is to find out who is on the board and who has pull. And if they have a clinic, go to their clinic. Pick a day or two. Whatever day they have clinic, say, I'm going to come spend a day with you. You probably are not, it may not even be a paid gig, but just say, I'm going to spend a day with you. Become their medical assistant for the day. And then ask questions. Help them draw up injections. Tell them you're going to help up to numb up a toe. And I'm speaking now for podiatry because that's my specialty. If it's a wound, and they debride it, help them apply the dressing. Kind of even give the medical assistants a little break, go above and beyond. You want to kind of like impress them, because especially if it's a really good program, or even if it's just any program that you want to get into, and that is someone who is on the board of directors or has pull, if you kind of show them what you can do and your work ethic and your academic knowledge, then you've been doing a month-long or a year-long interview, such that once the interview time comes the next year around, now you've passed your boards, you've been doing this year-long interview, they've seen your face countless times. Your interview is not going to be really that hard, and chances are you will be at the top of the list to get picked to match the next time around. That's a little tip I learned. I had a friend who, she did this beforehand. Now, she actually went, she did this before in our third year, I think. She went and became a patient to this doctor. Now, this was across town. We were in Philadelphia, but we lived in Philadelphia, but this doctor was in Texas, and she wanted to be in Texas. She became a patient. And so she would go and see this doctor and, start talking to this doctor and just kind of, get to know him. And this program didn't have an externship. Again, this is for my podiatry students. And so there was no way for her to really sell herself or put herself in front of him. So when she became a patient, she really, that was her way in. And then she could ask for time to volunteer or come in and shadow. And guess what? She got the program. So whatever way whatever you need to do, do it. Okay? So shadow. If there's a conference, go for it. If it's free, of course, go for it. Like, hello. If they have academic meetings, yes. If a program that you want to go to that you did not match in, and let's say they don't have an externship program, and you especially really want to go there, definitely find out when they're having the academic meetings. If they have cadaver labs, go to it. Whatever kind of meetings that they would allow you as a student come to, go to it. Keep in touch with the residents, keep in touch with the chief, keep in touch with the attending, keep in touch with the director, and go to those meetings. And then when you go to those meetings, you definitely have to participate. Like write down, questions that you may have, read. So these academic meetings, they usually would have a topic that they're going to be discussing. Find out what those topics are and research on it. Study on it. And if you have questions, this is the place to ask. No question. They say no question is a dumb question, and that is true. But if you have a question, look to see if you can find the answer. And then what you could do is be like, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I had this question and I looked at the answer and this is what it said, but I don't quite understand it. Could you explain it further? That shows interest, right? It shows that you had a problem. You sought out a solution. You did find a solution, but you didn't quite get the solution or understand it. And now you're bringing it to people who are supposedly experts. So that way, it's not a stupid question. Even if it ends up being a stupid question, but you did the work to try to find the answer. You just don't get it, right? So it puts you at an edge. So attend those meetings. Attend them. What else? For medical students, what you could do, take time off. Do research, right? You can do any kind of research. Some research programs are actually paid programs. So that way you can make some money on the side while you keep studying for the exam if you didn't pass, or while you keep shadowing and stuff like that. So that's a way you can kind of make use of that time that you have before you match. Again, you can actually find a job. Now, And a job in a clinical setting, you just don't want any kind of job. You want, because your goal is to gain a residency program. And so you want something that, pad your resume when you're applying. So when you get a job, some jobs may not allow you to participate in direct patient care because, it's just a law of the state. Some states will actually allow you to participate as a physician assistant. So research what the laws are in your state. Find out if you can be a a physician assistant and, work in a clinic. If it's family medicine, do that. Now, I guess it's going to be kind of hard if you're trying to get into a surgical residency because you can't quite, I don't know. Maybe you could find out if you could get some kind of certification so you could be a surgical assist. That will be a great idea. You have an MD or a DO degree. And now you get a certification. If there's something where you can, like an accelerated program, you get a surgical assist license and you get to assist a surgeon, especially if that surgeon is a director at a residency program or on the board. Honey, there's no better way to get an in. Now you're actually helping out in surgery. Now, I don't know this part will actually, I don't know what it takes to be a surgical assistant and if there's some kind of accelerated program, but just the idea of it would be amazing. So look into that. Non-surgical, that's easier. Go in the clinic and see if they need, some kind of help or, some kind of medical assisting help, and try to, get a job and get to be, cozy with them and just try to get the in. Honestly, I feel like academics, of course, you have to be, mentally, physically, and, intelligent. But if you have an in, you need to get an in somewhere, because if you are struggling, which at this point you are sort of because you didn't match, right? You need to find a way to get in. Now, let's say you've done everything you can and you still don't match. Darn it. Well, another option, if you're at the point where you're like, I'm over it, I'm done, you could obtain an advanced degree. So maybe you could obtain an MPH or an MBA or whatever other advanced degree that you may want. So you may have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, I have this degree now with these many loans and the loans. But then how can I plan? What can I do to re-strategize? Being a medical professional is very rewarding. It's extremely rewarding, but it's not the end all be all. Okay? Excuse me, Lord. It's not the end all be all. So if you, at this point, you've exhausted all of your options, consider getting an advanced degree too. That could be an option. But before we go down, that's like at the bottom of the list. Main thing you need to do right now, contact everyone. Email, call, text messages, leave voice messages. Put on your professional voice, honey. Like, yes, you need to hustle. Hustle. Contact them. If you've done any research, if you've presented any papers, if you're printed out in any of the journals, articles, or anything like that, send it to them. This is who I am. Advertise yourself. Market yourself. Show them. And this is, yes, there's a fine line between bragging. You're not quite bragging, but you're kind of show them everything that you have. Because if the only reason that especially if you have all of these things, and the only reason you didn't get it is perhaps maybe you didn't pass your USMLE Step 3 or Boards Part 3, or you just suck at interviewing, show them all of your accolades. Like, give them your accolades. Let them know who you are, and then go practice for interviewing. Oh, a tip for interviewing. I'll probably make a separate video, but I'll just touch on it a little bit. Record yourself answering questions. If you hadn't done this before, especially in a program where you haven't visited, they don't know you, they've never met you, grab a set of questions and answer them. Social questions, academic questions. You want to kind of watch yourself and see how you present. And do you like what you see? Are you actually answering it in a good way? Are you Are you likable? You know, and if you're not, I mean, figure out how to make yourself likable, especially in a short span of time, right? A lot of these interviews may be on the phone. So figure out your speaking voice, how to project confidence and intelligence and knowledge over the phone, because these are like quick. This is a very fast-paced period. The next month is going to be crucial. Now, sheesh, my friend, I mean, it took her a couple months, actually, maybe about 6 months before she actually got a residency program, but still keep practicing. Practice. I wish you the best of luck. If all works out, please leave a comment below. Even though it doesn't work out, still leave a comment below. We'll try to figure it out. Please, again, like I said, like and subscribe to my page. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Fly Foot Doc Facts. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.